Hi friends, Candace Gillespie here with Candace's Canvases and now Candace'sCanvases.com for my crafty blog. Supplies used along with that blog link, my mailing address, and social media links will be in the description bar below. And if you're on Facebook, head on over to Crafters Anonymous by Candace's Canvases and help me build that crafty community. All right, today I am showing you the Butterflies to Stamp stamp set that I got from the Stamps of Life. I am subscribed to their Die Hard Club, so every month I get a new die set with a coordinating stamp set, and I think it's like $24 for all of this, and each stamp comes with a shadow die, so I think this is a really good value. Plus, you get tons of discounts, and if you know at the Stamps of Life, it's Stephanie Bernard. She designs a lot for Sizzix, so you can get like cutting plates, and I just love Stephanie Bernard anyway. I only met her once, but I thought she was a doll, and so there. Anyway, okay, here I am breaking out my watercolors. These will be in the description bar below as well as on my blog, links to them. And I'm using my distress sprayer to spray down some red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Or do we say indigo now? I don't know. I thought we changed it. Then I'm taking this kind of midline paintbrush. It's not a very fancy paintbrush, but it is a watercolor paintbrush, and I wet down this card panel. This is just regular cardstock. It's not even watercolor paper. You just really don't have to get that fancy. And I just glue it down. If it gets warped, and the glue just kind of straightens it out, and it's fine. So here I'm just stripping or swiping, that's the word, swiping across each color. And I'm not trying to be super neat. I want it to look kind of like smeared on there in this pattern. So once I have all those colors laid down, I'm going to work on adding a little more, and then I'm going to blend the colors where they each meet. So here I'm blending the blue and the purple, and then the blue and the green, and then the green and the yellow, and the yellow and the orange, and then I realize, where did my yellow go? So I add more. Or my orange, where did my orange go? One of them, yes, both of them. And I really like the concentration of color I have here. So at this point, I am going to heat set it with my heat tool. This heat tool I got from Stampin' Up! When I was a demonstrator. It works fine. It has a high and a low setting. I almost never use the low setting. I just go straight to high. So I will leave a link also in my blog post for Tarina. She is my Stampin' Up! Girl now that I don't sell Stampin' Up! And first let me tell you, I'm using Tombow glue because it dries tacky. So I just put a very thin amount on the back of this card base, and I smeared that thin amount out, and it dried almost immediately, and it becomes a removable adhesive. You can definitely buy removable adhesive. That's just my method. So I am using my Tonic Studio Tim Holtz stamp platform. I love this thing. Just ordered the mini size. They call it a travel stamp platform. And I'm using VersaFine Black Onyx ink to ink up this butterfly stamp. And I'm going to stamp them kind of staggering up this rainbow. The cool thing about this stamp platform is all you have to do is just switch the cover from one side or the other, and there's no messing with inserts or foam pads to lose or anything like that. I don't know. Plus, I just wipe it down. It's super easy. Low maintenance. I really like that about it. So here's just a scrap piece of black paper, happens to be in the shape of a triangle, and I dusted that with a stamp, embossing buddy, and using Versamark ink, and using the happy birthday stamp that comes in this stamp set. Using white embossing powder, I dust that over it and it sticks, and then I use my heat tool to melt it. I decided I wanted to add some of the little butterflies also, and I'm just stamping it off to make sure that it's nice and primed and ready to stamp. So just stamping it kind of like they're flying up with the big butterflies. Now, note to self and to you out there, Versa Fine Black Onyx ink, it's a pigment ink. I know that already, but for some reason I was just going to town with working with this card, and I smeared it all before it was dried. Kind of annoyed myself, but I wasn't about to start over. It was fine. So I trimmed out using these awesome Tonic Studio Tim Holtz scissors. I like them because they're nice and long, and I can just do one straight. I have one in each of the sizes. And then some foam tape on the back, and that kind of flattens out the card. Oh, you can see the smears. Do you see the smears? Oh, so bad. So off camera, I took off the backing to the adhesive and then just stuck that down in the center. And then I'm going to attempt to cover up the worst part of the smears by gluing this happy birthday over them. And it so happens that it kind of put them at a wonky angle, and I really liked how it turned out, so I'm fine with that wonky angle. Who doesn't love a rainbow? Gosh, God's promise to the earth. I love it. So for the inside, I'm bringing back the watercolor setup and a card panel, and I'm going to do the same thing, just less intense. So here I just sprayed it with my distress sprayer, and then just less intense and with more water so that it is less intense, because you know if you're working with watercolors, the more water you add to it, the more saturate or the more diluted your color is going to be. So that's what I did. And as if that wasn't enough water, I'm bringing in the distress sprayer and spraying it more so that it kind of drips down. And you actually I could have left it like this. It would have dried back some, but I ended up sopping most of the color up, so that it dried very transparent, so that, you know, on the inside of the card you want to write in it. So now I can. I'm just splattering on some of the black paint and also sopping that up on the inside of the card. I do the same thing on the card front. And it's kind of funny, you'll see in the finished pictures at the end of this video, one blop landed right on the butterfly's face. Dang it, I did not plan that well. How can you plan splatter marks though, you know? That's the whole point of them, is to get a nice random look. You could see the top butterfly. That's okay. Poor guy. And I'm just going to glue in my inside panel, and that sums up this card. I do thank you guys so much for watching and for subscribing and for leaving joyful comments on my videos. It supports me in so many more ways than just on YouTube. And let me know if there's any projects you'd like to see, and we'll talk soon. I do have a second card from the stamp set in process of being edited. So have a good day. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.